Bella! Welcome everyone. So today I wanted to talk about recurring dreams. So this is very common. A lot of people have that. Some of the most recurring dreams that people have are dreams about running away from something or for somebody, dreams about falling from the sky or falling, trying to escape from somebody, trying to escape from something. Sometimes it's not even clear or known what is the thing that people are scared of when they're running in these recurring dream where you're always running away from something that you don't really know what it is that you're scared of or whatever. So recurring dreams are about messages that you're not getting. What is it that you're not getting? Okay, so there are many reasons why we can have recurring dreams. That's why I say dreams is something that's very personal, is very culture based, is very based on your own individual perceptions. So I don't do general readings or general interpretation because it would be really pointless. It really has to be tailored to to the dreamer. The dream is the dreamer's dream, is the dreamer's message, is the dreamer's own interpretation. This is why the dream comes to you. It didn't come to your grandmother, didn't come to your parents, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, your husband, or whatever. It came to you for a specific reason. And if you're getting this dream over and over and over and over again, it will continue to happen until you decide to either decode the information, get the gist of it, understand what's going on, or apply this information in your awakened state, in your awakened life. Sometimes that information needs to get to someone else. Sometimes that information is there for you to get out of a situation, or to prepare you for something much bigger that's coming. So it is very important that you do not dismiss this type of dream, because the simple fact that it keeps occurring over and over and over should be for you a red flag, a pointer to you to say, okay, this is happening all the time. That means it's trying to seek my attention. I've had clients who are having recurring dreams, and when we talked about these recurring dreams, it was very clear that there was something that they refused to deal with. And that thing manifested in the dreams, and it wasn't, some of them when we start doing work, we see that it wasn't something that was very scary or negative. And sometimes it's just a matter of you turning around and seeing what it is, and seeing who it is, and seeing what is the information. Sometimes we tend to be just scared for no particular reason, scared to find out something that we deep inside we already knew. That deep inside we already know. We already know what most people, if you're having nightmares and you're having recurring dreams, you already know why. Sometimes it's because you refuse to accept the why, or you don't understand the why, or you don't want to understand the why. And so those dreams are there as pointers, okay? They are there to illuminate you, to get your attention, and they keep repeating, having different scenarios or different people, different imageries, but they're pretty much the same. You always have that kind of irky feeling of falling down, or irky feeling that someone is trying to get to you, but it is not something that's dangerous. If you most of the time in those dreams, even if you're falling from a cliff or falling from somewhere, you never hit the ground. You never feel the pain of like hitting bottom and dying. You never die. Or the second thing is that if something or somebody or is running after you, they never catch you. They never catch on to you. So you have to understand that there's something more going on than just some horror movie or something trying to get to you. Because obviously, if they never do and you keep repeating that means it's not a matter of them catching on to you, but it's a matter of you dealing with them. Okay? And it can be scary, it can be disheartening, it can be very emotionally wrapped. Some people wake up, they are sweating because of the actual physical running in the dream. It's actually sometimes a physical process where they're actually sweating. The body is really, you see, your mind never triggered what's real, what's awake, and what's dream, what's your imagination or whatever. And this is why the basic foundation why visualization works, because your brain is going to be like, okay, we're seeing this, that means this must be real. In the same way, when you're scared and you're visualizing things that are negative, then your brain may register it and say, oh, it must be real. So that's why you can be having this nightmare where you're running and waking up sweating. The same way where you're doing work in your dreams, your body sometimes physically doing that work as well. So you have to take that in consideration. That should be even a separate video between the interaction between your body while you're dreaming and the actual body in the bed. So recurring dreams, don't be scared of recurring dreams. This is, if you had, at least I always say, if you had 3 times the same dream, it's time to sit down. It's time to look at it, and it's time to try to understand what's the message that is trying to get through to you. I'll say, you know, because if you do a dream once, if you do a dream 2 times, sometimes, you know, especially if the characters are different, the scenario is different, it's not necessarily a recurring dreams. But starting the 3rd time, and the third time that you remember, you kind of feel like, okay, I've been here before. It's kind of going the same way it's been before, or you have a dream that may start any kind of way, but always end at the same place or in the same way. That to me would be also classified as a recurring dream, because basically they're trying to lead you to that part. Sometimes it's because it's something that's very scary, so they ease you onto it by letting you think that you are somewhat escaping that by starting the dream in a different way, but really to get you to that place where you need to go, to get you to that place where there is information for you, okay? And it could be information that you're supposed to be using in order to get yourself out of something, or that you're supposed to be using to help someone else, to give to someone else, to send to someone else, to make this accessible for someone else. So sometimes it's not all about you. It could be also about a family member. It could be about a friend, a coworker, or a perfect stranger that you're going to meet on the street a couple of days after. So it's very important that you try to remember your dream if you don't. And that you use, I've done, you know, already videos that you can check out in terms of what you can do to help you remember your dreams, and those are basic things to do, making sure you're eating healthy, that you're not eating too late, so that you have enough energy in your body in order to be able to retain the information, and that you are well hydrated as well. Now if you go through those videos, you do those different things and it's not working, maybe time to book a consultation to see what we can do about that to improve you to get to the point. The other thing is that this information, because it is recurring, it is important. So, you know, history keeps repeating itself until we learn that lesson and we move on. Obviously, so long as we haven't learned that lesson, we haven't even faced the lesson or trying to know what it was, or we're trying to escape from it, we're trying to dismiss it, then it's going to keep repeating itself. So I will encourage you not to be scared. You know, fear is always going to be there in some shape or form, but it's up to you to take the choice to stand against it, to move past it, to keep going despite it, but not by running away, but by turning around and facing that fear. You know, it's kind of like you see the shadow and you think it's a tiger or something like that, and you turn around, it's a small cat. All that because looking at the shadow, your imagination, your own fears, or whatever, your own insecurity made that shadow something else that it wasn't. And sometimes it could be a bad news. Sometimes it could be something that was going to be less agreeable to find out. But finding out regardless is going to get you further along than if you pretend that it is not there. So don't dismiss the recurring dream. Write them down, inspect them, try to interpret them as well. Sometimes it's that maybe you haven't figured out what the exact message was. Sometimes you may have had the dream 3 or 4 times and you say, okay, I get it, I know what this is about. But if the dream continues to appear after you think you've interpreted it, or after you even sought help and it keeps going on, then it may be that whatever interpretation you get wasn't it, and that's why it keeps going. That's why they're gonna keep showing you that. And it's important because sometimes you feel like, or you think like you've lived that dream so many times that you think you know this dream perfectly. But however, sometimes it is because of certain details that you didn't pay attention to. When you get to a certain point or a practice, you're able to select the dreams you want to go into, to look at the different details that you may have missed before, or things that you may notice, or things that may change in that particular dream based on what you've done with the information previously. So for me, it's not uncommon that I've revisited certain dreams and I've noticed, okay, there was a notebook that was open, and I didn't, the first time I came around, I saw the notebook open, but I didn't see anything, I didn't pay attention to what was written on there, on that particular page that was open. So I can choose in another dream to come back and to look at what was written there. And it's interesting sometimes to come back and to see that whatever was written there before has changed. And this is something that you get to do over time. And it's very different from a recurring dream that's kind of imposed onto you because there's a message that needs to get to you. And you're going back in this particular dream to fetch something that is calling you there. It could be details, it could be colors, it could be an object that was there that you didn't quite pay attention to the first time, that you noticed the second or the third time around. You could be wondering whose object is it, what is it doing there. There's a whole bunch of things going on with revisiting dreams and doing recurring dreams yourself. And of course, this is not something that sometimes you get to be able to do right away. It takes some time, a lot of practice to get to that point. But it's an option that I wanted to mention here because there's many types of recurring dreams. There are the dreams that come to you to get through the message and that you have to kind of like decode it or seek assistance decoding it. And that's another indicator. If you go and ask for someone to help you interpret your dreams and the recurring dreams keep happening after that, that means you didn't get the message. That means either you did get the message, but then you need to apply that message. So you could start from, if you had the information and you didn't do anything with it, you just sat on it, it may be because you haven't applied it and it's time for you to apply it. If you apply it and the dreams keep going and keep recurring again, then it might not even have been the correct message, or there are still pieces missing from that message that you need to know. And don't be frustrated, because sometimes also if those are messages from ancestors or your guides or your whatever, it is possible that you may be so close-minded that they are leaking information to you bits and pieces at a time. Getting you used to some information after interpreting that, and then after that we're going to get in the same dream another portion of the information, and in the same dream another piece and another piece, until you get the whole image of what the dream was all about and what the entire message was all about. So sometimes it's not a matter of the person who helped you interpret the dream didn't give you everything. It's just a matter of, at that moment, at that point, that was the portion that you were most likely to accept or to use. Therefore, that's the only thing that was given to you. And then as you go back, as you continue to progress and continue to look at that dream, and it's possible that dream switch and change a little bit, as I've mentioned, some details. You may notice some details. You may notice some new things happening in there as well. But in all matters, don't be scared. Don't feel, or you can be scared, but so long as you keep going. It's like fear is always showing up in all kind of form, and anyone telling you that you can banish fear completely probably lying to you, because you always have some type of form of fear, and that's why you have even people projecting fear all the time, so that it is part of our collective consciousness. There's no escaping that. However, you can choose to move despite this fear. You can choose not to let fear paralyze you. You can choose not to let fear push you to think a specific way. Okay? And this is where in the dream you decide not to run anymore. You just decide to turn around, to stand your ground, and turn around and see, what is it? What is it that's trying to get your attention, that's following you everywhere, that you can get rid of? Sometimes it's just a matter of turning around and having all your questions answered. So that's something to take in great consideration when you're doing that. So that was that for recurring dreams. Of course, if you have any questions, you can leave them below. If you want a session specifically and just on dreams, those sessions are just 1 hour for $50, and that you can just get my email in the description box, and we can see a time that's suitable for you. For all holistic consultation, those are $75 for new clients, and that's 1 hour and 30 minutes. So just go through, before you even contact me for consultations, I will encourage you to go through the dream work playlist, and to kind of see the information that I've put on there that's completely free, that you'll be able to kind of play with and try yourself, and it will also make the consultation much easier, so I don't have to repeat techniques and things that are already in there, especially if you can't remember your dream, if you don't know if you're dreaming already, how many times you're dreaming, if you want to dream but are unsure about how to wake up from that dream, especially if you have a recurring dream or that is a nightmare that you want to get out of. You can I think there's a video on how to wake yourself up from a dream or something like that. So just search that playlist, which I will try to put a link in the description box, but by going to my YouTube website and looking at the playlist tab, you should be able to find it very easily. So I hope you're having a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.